Welcome to the Sometimes Weekly Show. I'm your host, Resego Tabane, and what now, South Africa? Tuesday, 17th October, all presidential. The commander-in-chief, the leader this country has, Jacob Zuma, decided to perform yet another cabinet reshuffle. And notice how I said perform, because it's sort of like a show that we're all just stuck here, forced to sit back and watch. Only now it's season 8 and the writers are way past just changing small things to make things, move along. At this point, the show is barely recognizable from the show that we had 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because in this analogy, the show is the country, and the country is way not recognizable from what it was 8 years ago, because we know how this presidency has ravaged South Africa. Anyway, moving on. This marks Jacob Zuma's 11th cabinet reshuffle since his time in office. Jacob Zuma likes shuffling so much that he's probably the hidden member of LMFAO. Like that member that's been there the whole time, but no one knows about it. Kind of like how Destiny's Child has Beyonce, Kelly, and the other one. Jay-Z shuffles his cabinet so much that when I was doing the research for Jacob Zuma cabinet reshuffle, Google slapped back at me for not being specific enough. Jacob Zuma shuffles so much that you would swear this presidential thing is just like a side gig, something that just popped up for him. Meanwhile, his real dream, his real passion was to be a blackjack dealer. But then, casinos ended up using those automated machines, whatever, so he couldn't shuffle. So instead of representing the house, becoming a blackjack dealer and watching gamblers lose their futures, he decided to gamble South Africa's future, watch South Africans lose, and build himself a house. Yeah. Following the cabinet reshuffle, the rand dropped again from a bad number to a worse number. Adding yet another top 5 reason to why South Africans shouldn't travel abroad. Right in between the fear of leaving and not having a country to come back to, and the fear of going somewhere and being caught up in a nuclear war. Talking about nuclear, the shuffle is said to have been done because Jacob Zuma is trying to push through a nuclear energy deal before he gets out of office. With the ANC National Conference happening in either November or December, it's at the end of the year, it is said that Jacob Zuma could be out of office by as early as February. That being said, the ANC in the Eastern Cape has given its blessing to Cyril Ramaphosa as a candidate for the presidency. To white South Africans, I want you to know that means that Xhosa ANC has given Cyril Ramaphosa its blessing. To Cyril Ramaphosa, if you are watching, you probably aren't, but if you are, I'd like to say, congratulations, Mr. President. In other African news, Somalia has suffered 2 terrible tragedies this month. A truck bombing in Mogadishu on the 14th, killing nearly 300 lives, and another one just this weekend, killing nearly 40. Wait, okay, hold up, come back, focus, okay? Don't change the channel, don't switch off on me just because I'm talking about Africa. Look, this was an Al-Qaeda thing, it's terrorism, many African lives are, wait, come back. Fine. I get it, you're not interested, it's fine. Prayers go out to Somalia, okay? Now, something that you will care about. Up next, white tragedy. Marvel Studios released the official trailer for Black Panther. Might be asking, Resego, where's the white tragedy in that? Superhero movies are awesome. Yes, superhero movies are awesome, and this one is particularly awesome because now that just adds to the list of things that black people have cooler than everyone else. Music, dance moves, food, and now superhero movies. Yeah! obviously that this goes on and on. I don't have enough time to actually go through the entire thing.
Straight arrows, disembodied voices. Now for an extremely condensed list of the things black people could still stand to improve on. Equality in the workplace, better standard of living, equality in the eyes of the law, equality in the international sphere, not having culture vultures vulture our culture, not having the West exploit our continent, and all of history. Seriously, all of it. Especially that unwelcome visitors thing that just happened. Waiting for to act like that didn't just happen. Y'all can stay, just don't eat from the fridge and say that the food was always yours. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, now back to your regular programming.
Shit. Not only is Black Panther looking like it's about to be one of the coolest superhero movies we have ever seen, but it is one based in Africa about Africans. I think there are like 2 white people in this entire movie. Not that it's a black-white thing, but yeah. For those of you who don't know, Black Panther is based in the country of Wakanda. In the Marvel Universe, Wakanda is the only African nation to have never ever been invaded or taken over. That means colonialism did not touch Wakanda. And get this, in the Marvel Universe, Wakanda is the country that is way ahead of other countries in terms of technology, in terms of resources, just in terms of civilization in general. I mean, the only one not touched by colonialism. Yes, Wakanda is an African country. No, you can't go there. And yes, it does make me think about what Africa could have been. And it should make you think too. Finance Minister Mr. Gigaba delivered what is being called his maiden budget speech. I just find that funny because to call it maiden, meaning first, it almost implies that there's going to be another one. But like, another one. Our president switched his ministers so often that I wouldn't be surprised if the trajectory after Giraba's maiden budget speech was as good as the maiden voyage of the Titanic. Speaking about the Titanic, our economy. We are operating at a deficit. Meanwhile, our ministers are getting paid 2 million rand a year. All 35 of them. That is 166,000 a month. That makes about as much sense as thinking you can shower to wash off HIV. But then again, in another incident highlighting the not so technical nation we call South Africa, what is being called the Coffin Assult. It's one hell of a story. If you don't know, basically what happened was 2 guys of one race suspected another guy of another race of having stolen copper wires. So the 2 guys decided to dish out their own brand of vigilante justice. They got the man, beat the man, put the man in a coffin, filmed the whole thing. So stupid. And yeah, now they're being charged. They were charged this weekend, I believe, or this past week. 11 years and 14 years for the 2 gentlemen. Yeah, just a horrible thing that happened. The thing that I find weird about this case, or not weird, the thing I find strange about the responses or the reaction to this case is that there are genuinely people who think that the sentencing was too harsh. There are genuinely people who think that 14 years in prison is not enough for someone who just tried to bury another human being alive. Just process that. That means you could just be walking through the sunny streets of South Africa and actually brush shoulders with someone who thinks burying someone alive on the suspicion that they stole something from you doesn't deserve 14 years in jail? Taking away someone's dignity? Honestly, I don't even need Halloween this year because that thought is scary enough. That's it for today's show. I am Resego Tabane. This is the Sometimes Weekly Show, and I'll continue to see you sometimes weekly. Keep well and God bless Africa.